This episode is brought to you by our friends at Tropic Touch Tans, mobile spray tanning, owned and operated by two boss moms, servicing the DFW area since 2022, offering customized sprays to each and every client and lasting up to 14 days. Book today and mention this ad to get $10 off your tan and check them out on Facebook and Instagram at Tropic Touch Tans.
Hello and welcome back to episode 7 of This Was Meant For You podcast.
How exciting!
We are your hosts, Stephanie and
Marissa.
For today's episode, we are going to talk about co-parenting.
Step parenting.
Oh, yeah. Step parenting.
Step parenting, but co-parenting too. I mean, it all goes in together.
Yeah, I was
right?
going to say, right? Yeah, it's about the same thing.
Yeah.
So, me personally, I will start.
Let's go. I'm excited.
I have never had to deal with step parenting.
No.
No.
Never? Oh, you never have?
Well,
yeah, a little bit.
yeah, I guess, actually, now that I think about it. Yeah.
It's just been a minute.
It's been a
She
long
just had
time.
to think about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, she has.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
My ex from back then does have another child, and I was around her.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I did do some step parenting.
You did? You did for a little bit there.
Yeah.
How was it? Now that you're thinking about it, how was it? How old was she when you were step parenting?
Ooh, they were babies. She was young. We were together for 6-7 years. So basically almost that whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we never had any, let's take it there. I was young and dumb. And when I was with him, I did push to make sure that he was getting her whenever he was supposed to. And there was nothing ever like in place, but making sure that he was calling, helping, all that good stuff. But other than that, like we never really.
Did you have to ever deal with mom?
Yeah.
And did y'all deal with each other fine?
When we first started, before me and him were dating, we were not cool.
Of course not.
Yeah,
but
we were not
there was
cool.
reasons why.
Yeah, there was reasons why. And if you know my story behind it, you know why. But no, yeah, we weren't cool at first. And now, like me and her, we talk, text, call, whatever. But we never had really, I mean, at least that I can remember. I could be wrong. I really honestly don't remember anything bad from that. We just both lived our lives.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really ever an issue.
Yeah, that's good.
And if it was with him, not me.
Yeah. But how was it? Step parenting was the little girl. It was a little girl, right? How was she with you? Did she call you mom? Did she call you Steph?
I got both.
You got both.
Yeah, I got both, but it wasn't until I didn't get mom until a long time after the fact.
Yeah.
And still to this day, she will call me that. But I don't even remember. It's been so long. Both of the kids, they're 13 years old. Like they're gonna be 14. So it's just like.
And you still keep in contact with mom.
Yeah.
Which is good.
And her. Yeah.
Because the kids are siblings. And...
Yeah. And at the end, that's all they have.
Yeah.
But it's been so long, so I don't even know, to be honest. And that I hate to say that, but.
Are you open to being a step parent again one day?
To be honest, after our dating episode we just had, I mean, if they do have kids, then yeah, obviously I'm going to have to.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to be open for it.
Yeah.
But I don't ever want to step on anybody's toes or be like, hey, you have to call me mom or things like that. Like, no, never.
It's so hard being a step parent. So I'm a step parent to one child, but I've raised him since he was 2. And he is now 15 years old.
Woo!
Yeah, so I helped potty train him and get him off the bottle, like all of that.
Aww.
And so I've known him since he's a baby. He's my baby.
Yeah.
He's one of my boys.
Yeah.
My son.
Yeah.
So I love him to death. I love him to pieces. But it has been a journey.
Okay.
It's hard
Are you gonna go into details about that, honey? We want to know.
I might. It's been a journey. yeah, what do you want to know?
Okay, so you said he was 2. So how was it when you guys first started?
As far as me and his relationship?
Yeah.
Well, he was a baby.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they were so young.
Yeah,
it's hard.
he was a baby, so he liked everybody. It wasn't like I really had to like. I just saw that go completely down.
Okay. Let me know if it starts falling again. If you're listening, I'm sorry, but if you see it in video, you'll know why. But
so yeah, it wasn't like I had to do anything crazy I just was getting to know him, and he was getting to know who I was, because like I said, he was just a baby. It wasn't hard to love him, and it wasn't hard for him to love me, because he was a baby. He loved everybody.
Yeah.
You know, it was hard with.
I was gonna say, how was it with the other parent?
It was hard. It was hard, mainly because there was still feelings involved, and I didn't know that. I didn't know that she had such. Well, I can't say I didn't. I did know, because there was problems when me and Hector started dating. But she had very strong feelings about him, and she had very strong feelings about me. And it wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. It was very hard. So now that I look back on all of those times, I'm like, so childish. It was just so ridiculous. But it was very hard. Here we are 15 years later, and we still don't have any type of relationship. We don't talk.
And that sucks. And that sucks because at the end of the day, it's for the kids. Like,
did try. I tried when he was smaller. I tried to have a conversation with her. I texted her and asked her, do you want to talk? And we talked over the phone. And I was like, look, it doesn't have to be like this. It does not have to be this hard. We have moved on with our lives. He's old enough. Like, let's just make this good for Junior, you know? And she didn't want to hear anything of it. And then something tragic had happened a few years ago. My stepson lost his brother.
Oh, no.
And we went to the funeral, and I made my husband give her a hug, and I hugged her, because it just wasn't, I think at that point in our lives, it just wasn't worth it anymore. Like the fighting and the bickering, and that didn't even matter at that moment. And Junior needed us, you know, needed us. Junior needed to see a united front, and we really tried to have that, but it didn't last long. You know, within a few weeks, it was back to the same.
Has she ever given you a reason as to why it's like that with her?
No. I don't know why she doesn't like me so much. I really don't. I don't understand why she doesn't like me, other than I hate to sound like this. I just feel like maybe she feels threatened by my relationship with her child. Me and him are very close. I would say that he's probably closer to me than he is.
And that could be
and that's a tough pill to swallow, but that is not my problem.
Yeah, and that's not anybody's fault but their own.
Yeah. If you don't like, or if you feel threatened by a step parent coming in, if you feel threatened by them and you're worried that your child's going to love them more or feel closer, then you need to take those actions.
Yes, then you're not doing something correctly.
Right.
Yeah.
You need to fix that within yourself, so that you are confident in your relationship with your child, that they could go as far as calling that person mom or dad, and it won't bother you, because you know who you are in their lives.
That's true.
Yeah, so it just hasn't worked out. And at this point, I don't care for it to work out anymore. It's just very toxic.
Yeah.
And I don't care for it to work out.
And it's probably more drama to just you trying to, at least I would feel like it would be more drama if you're just going to keep like forcing something that's not there.
I tried a couple of times and that was it. I'll never try again.
Yeah.
Now, if it was the other way around and she came to me and
you would be open?
Why not? Like, I don't ever see us going to dinner together and getting mimosas.
Being best friends?
No, I don't ever see it being like that. But I could so see me, texting that person and saying, hey, if you can't take him to his game or practice, I got you. Like I can. And I tried to do that for the longest. And you know what? At one point she did. She would reach out to me. She'd say, hey, can you take Junior to practice? I don't know what changed in that little time. I think it was right after her son passed away. But a few months later, it just went back to the
normal.
same thing.
Yeah.
And I think it was when it was like, oh, I can't. I'm sorry. Not today. And I think that's what just threw it. Like, oh, well, since you can't now, don't ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it just hasn't worked out. But being a step parent is very hard because you have to kind of know your place. You're not their parent at the end of the day. As much as I want to say I'm his mom or he's my son, he is my son. But I'm not his biological
Mhm.
mom. And so I have to know my limits, my boundaries, my place. I can give my input to my husband all I want, but at the end of the day,
It's between
his
them.
child.
Mhm.
And yeah, he has to figure out what's best, just like the same on my end with him
Mhm.
being a stepdad. But it's so hard to be a step parent because it's like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. You're active in your stepchild's life and you're there at the games and you're like, good job, baby, because that's your kid, that's who you
Mhm.
raised, and you're doing too much.
Yeah.
You know, you're doing too much. She's trying to piss me off. It's more
Mhm.
like that. I'm like, I'm not. Or you don't come to the games, then you don't care about him. So it's just like, what do I do? You
Yeah.
know? So I just kind of learned to not let it affect me at all.
Yeah.
And I just do what I want to do. If I want to go to his games, I'm gonna be at his games. If
Yeah.
I'm gonna scream my baby, that's
I'm
my
screaming,
baby.
yeah.
Yeah, and get over it. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
I earned my spot.
That's what I'm gonna say too. That's another thing too. Like, it's not like you and him have just been dating for a little
No.
bit, like a few months, and you're not
Mhm.
just here trying to take over. So I feel like that does make a difference too.
Oh,
Like, you guys
yeah.
are married.
Yes.
You guys
and-
have been together for a very long time.
Yeah, and so Junior calls me.
And he's been with you since, I mean, he was a baby when you first were introduced to him,
Right.
so he was 2.
Mhm. So
And he's now how old?
He's 15.
Okay, count
He's
the
15,
years, y'all.
and
13 years.
yeah, and this is coming from a baby that I raised. He was a baby, and his mom was living like 7-8 hours away, and we had him for months at a time. So he, of course, started calling me mom, mommy,
Yeah.
got close to me, and the rest is history. And we've been together since, and me and Hector have been together since, and I love him. I love Junior. And for me, okay, so my biological son has a stepmom, and she does a lot for him financially,
Mhm.
as far as providing a nice home for him and a great community and all of that. And I don't have. I just think that she definitely has my respect for that. You know,
Mhm.
if you can take care of my kid, then cool. If you're there to love him, cool. I think the more people that love your children, the better.
Yeah.
So I don't think people should take it as a jealousy thing or get upset over it. Don't get, if you're, like I said, we said earlier, if your feelings are upset about something, then you got to deal with that within yourself.
Yeah, because then that means you're slacking somewhere.
Yeah.
And
because if your child is happy and they're like,
Mhm.
hey, you know, so and so's great, they took me to the park, I'd be like, cool,
Yeah.
like that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because now when you're over there, I don't worry about you.
Yeah,
I know you're
that's
taken
true.
care of, and that's
That's true.
awesome.
Yeah.
So,
Like in my perspective, I mean, obviously my kid doesn't go anywhere. He's with me 24/7, but I feel like it would be I would be okay with it, you know, if you guys were putting the effort, you know?
mhm.
But it's all the time, not just once in a blue moon. And we've already kind of talked about this too on our co-parenting episode. But I do feel like put in the effort and not make it seem fake,
Mhm.
if that makes sense. And
Yeah, because you know what's coming naturally
Mm.
and out of the good heart.
and my kid is with me
But-
24/7. So if he wants to go with somebody else for the weekend, bye.
Yeah.
Enjoy your time. Let me get me time, you know? But I mean, I haven't had to.
Yeah.
I haven't been through that yet, so
'Cause you still
I'm
have
not
to,
sure.
Yeah, you still have to see what's in the best interest of your
Mhm.
child, of course, number one. But it's such a tough.
It's a tough conversation
It
for sure, and
is.
it's a tough topic to talk about.
Yeah, because you have to also be open to your child loving another parent,
Mhm.
a step parent, as much as they love you,
Mhm.
and you have to learn how to accept that and be happy for them that they
Mhm.
feel that good. With that being said, I've seen my kids play sports, and I've seen most of Julian's friends come from blended families like
Yes,
ours.
and I love it. We had one on our baseball team too.
Yeah.
And like they all sit together, they all talk, and it's like,
Yeah, it's really
How?
cool to see that.
How?
I know I've seen that several times with some of Julian's friends, like stepmom and dad are here, and then stepdad and mom, and they're together.
and they're
And
getting
they're cheering,
along.
they're getting along, and they're
What?
going to eat after, and I feel like I don't see a lot of that in our culture. I don't see that in our culture a lot.
That's true,
Right?
because the family I'm thinking about too. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Yeah, same here.
yeah.
Nothing wrong with it. I love it. I think it should be something
It should
that
be like that.
It should be like that. If you can
Mhm.
make it and it's healthy and it's a healthy environment, you should so be like that.
Mhm.
But it's really hard when you can't be like that because there's so much tension in the air, and it's the wrong place to have that kind of tension when your kids are playing sports and stuff like that. But it's really cool to see parents co-parent and come together as big families and have birthday parties together, and it's just crazy. It's a whole different lifestyle from what I'm used to because
True.
it's not like that for our family.
Yeah. So, do you guys conversate or say hi, bye whenever you guys do see each other?
No,
There's just no type of.
there's no communication. None. I can truly say that I have tried on both ends with both of my sons. Both ends. But it's not reciprocated again.
Yeah.
So I just why keep trying? I'm not gonna look like a dumbass either,
Yeah.
and I don't care that much.
For it, yeah.
Yeah, I don't care that much to
Like
make it happen.
you did your part,
I did my part.
and if they don't want to do theirs, then just
cool.
so be it. Yeah.
Yeah, then cool. Just don't start no drama.
Yeah.
Just like Nicki Minaj's, watch your mouth.
Watch your mouth, yeah.
No, but seriously. And it's okay if you can't co-parent with your step parents in your life, then that's fine. Just keep it respectful at least.
Yeah.
Just be respectful, because if your kid, like I said, if your kid has no problem with them and loves them, then obviously that step parent is doing something right.
Mm-hmm.
And let them have that.
Yep.
Let them have it.
That I agree with 100%.
Because why would you want drama? Why would you want them treating your kid wrong?
I am too old for that.
Yeah. So disciplining stepchildren, that's not hard for me because that's my kid to me at this point. I think maybe, and I'd love to hear different people's perspective of meeting somebody and their kids are already teenagers. How do you become a step parent to a teenager who already is dealing with enough on their own, teenage hormones and attitudes and stuff? How do you build that relationship and earn your spot as a step parent in their life without getting the door slammed in your face?
I know.
You're not my mom. You're not my dad.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
That must be really. I'm so thankful that I met my husband when I did, and our babies were little, because they literally this is all they've known.
They've known, yeah. Like for me, I did just have this conversation with some friends. Like, if I were to start dating somebody and they were to come in and I, everything was good, and I'm like, okay, you know what, it's time for me to introduce you to my kid. Mm-hmm. Here's my son, whatever. And if it got to the point where we were together, like how does the disciplining work? Like, would I allow that?
You have to.
And that's another thing that I had said. Because they asked me that. They're like, would you allow them to discipline your child? And I was like, you know what? If it got down to the point, I'm like, not to toot my kid's own horn or anything. He's not a bad kid.
No, he's a great kid.
But if it came to the point where he was doing something that was wrong, I do feel like he does need a manly, how do I say that? A manly perspective. Mm-hmm. A man's perspective on some things. And I feel like that would help him. So I would be open to that.
Yeah. And they have to earn it, obviously. Yes. You have to trust them enough that they're going to handle the situation correctly with your child.
I might get a lot of hate for that, for me saying that. But you know what? It is what it is. Mm-hmm. I feel like some people are so caught up on the like step parent disciplining the child because it's not theirs. Yeah. You don't ever feel like there's a lot of negative feedback about
I do. I don't believe in it. I think that if you, let's say it's you, if you have gotten with somebody and you're planning to make a life with this person and they're living with you and they are playing husband duties, then you need to allow them to play daddy duties as well. Too.
True.
You can't just pick and choose when you want them a part of your child's life, because I think when you become one as a couple, you're taking everything in together. Yeah, true. And so it's so important to give that person, and it's not easy. Trust me. To this day, I still struggle with that with my husband and my son. And sometimes I'm like, he's being a little too hard on him. Like you can't help but for your mind to go there. Like, well, would he be that hard on Junior?
Yeah.
But he has Julian's best interest in mind. Julian's such a great kid because of my husband. So you have to learn how to take your step back. And it's really, really difficult sometimes, but you gotta let that step parent handle things. And my husband gives me the same in return with Junior.
Mhm.
You know, I have a rule that their phones have to be up at a certain time at night by
It's
11
for both.
o'clock.
It's for both. Yeah.
of them. And if they don't, and it's always Junior, my stepson, that doesn't turn his in, then I'm like, hey, you know the rules. Tomorrow, your phone's mine at 9 o'clock now.
Mhm.
And it's not because he's my stepchild, it's because he broke a rule. And my husband gives
He backs
me
you
that.
up on that.
He's
Yeah.
like, you know the rules.
Yeah,
You
that's
know?
true.
So
That's
you
true.
have to let them help you parent. And that's how they build their relationship too.
Yeah.
That's how your kid and that parent start to build their relationship too. But it is tough. Now I think when it comes to if you discipline them physically, like if you're a spanker, you like to hit on kids.
Can we even say that?
Yes, because people still spank their kids.
No, but like, I don't know. It just don't come for us. We're just talking in general.
Yeah, no. I'm just being completely transparent. 'Cause I know some people still spank their kids. They believe in that. I do think that if you are a step parent, you should not be putting your hands on your child. I do believe that.
Yeah.
I don't believe that if Junior ever pissed me off to the point which he wouldn't, because he's such a great kid. But if he did, I would never lay my hand on him.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't even think that's like.
But that has happened. I actually saw a TikTok. I always, y'all can tell I watch TikTok a lot. I actually saw a TikTok about this where the mom showed up. Did you see this? The mom showed up at the ex's house, right? And the wife answered the door. The new wife answered the door. The new wife,
stepmom.
Yes, stepmom had spanked the little girl, I believe. Did something physically to her to reprimand her bad behavior. And the mom showed up at the door and was just cussing her out and, I want to know why you hit my baby, da, 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 da. And she was like, because she was talking back. She had a bad attitude, whatever it was. And the dad was backing stepmom. I was like, I gave her permission to discipline her.
True.
And so that's just such a sticky situation. I think if you do discipline,
me to be comfortable, like I wouldn't.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
I wouldn't be able to do that because I do not want to be responsible for anything. You know, like I wouldn't. I feel like if I had good communication with the other person, I would be like, hey, like in this situation that we're just talking about, hey, I got onto her because she was talking back.
She was being disrespectful.
Yeah, being disrespectful. If you want to, you know, have a conversation with her at your house in regards to her behavior, like I would appreciate that.
Yeah.
And then let the other parent deal with it. Yeah. And hopefully they will. Hopefully they will deal with it. But if they don't, then I mean.
And if they don't, and you don't have that type of relationship with the other parent, then tell your spouse. Yes. Tell your spouse, like, hey, she's being disrespectful, handle it. Mm-hmm. And however they decide to handle it, that's on them.
And they're the biological parent.
Yeah. But don't get yourself into trouble, and that can just
a lot of things can go different ways. So
you could end up getting child abuse charges on you because you hit a child that wasn't yours.
Yeah.
So I would never do that. I've never hit my kid.
Same.
I've never hit any of my kids. I've never spanked.
I've spanked my kid before. On the bottom. I'm
not a spanker. I've never spanked any of my kids.
I haven't.
Now it doesn't mean I won't.
If they're listening, Julia, no.
Right?
No.
No, I've never been a spanker, but I don't think that's necessarily terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really hard to be a step parent in today's world because unless you have very mature parties on all end and you can be involved and be a parent and no drama, then cool. That's awesome. That's really cool. And I think it's possible, but
it is.
All parties have to be involved
on the same page.
Yeah, they have to be on the same page for it to work. Because if it's just one person,
it's not going to work. It's not going to work at all. But before we end this episode, I'm going to ask her a would you rather question because I forgot to ask her on the other ones.
Let's do it.
So I'm going to do this one and then she can do the next one.
Yeah.
So, would you rather have an incredible, annoying, high-pitched voice or a really deep, manly voice?
I think that I already have an annoying, high-pitched voice. I do. I would go for the high-pitched voice still. I wouldn't want a manly voice.
Can you imagine?
Like Junior, the way
Oh,
Junior
yeah.
talks. My stepson, my son that we're talking about,
Hi.
has the deepest voice in the world. It's so cool.
Yeah.
It's such a.
He sounds like a grown man.
Yes, I tell him all the time. Be an announcer, a sports announcer.
He
like,
should.
You are gifted. When I tell you a gift, like y'all probably are thinking.
We need to bring him so he can
has
talk into the mic.
Coolest, deepest voice
Yeah.
ever. Like he could be on one of those smooth R&B
B radio stations. Yes. True.
Shout out Junior, your deep voice. I love
True.
you.
True. Let's do one more. Okay, ready?
All right.
Because this one is really funny.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Would you rather clog the toilet on a first date or clog it at the first day of your new job?
Oh my gosh. Ooh, I would do it in my first job.
Really?
Yeah, because I could just blame it on somebody else.
That's true.
I'd walk in and be like, oh my god, it was just like this. Is there another restroom I can use? Gotta find your way around those things. So yeah,
that's true. That's true. Me, I was thinking, of course, like extra above and beyond, you know. I'm like, oh, first date. Am I at his house? Am I in a restaurant? Like, where am I?
Yeah.
Because that depends too.
Yeah, if you're
if
at
I'm
the
at
house,
his house, heck no. Heck no. But if you're at a restaurant, like, who would know?
Yeah.
But then at your job, I don't know about y'all, but I cannot use the bathroom at work. No, I cannot.
It's weird. It's a little awkward. I don't like to use the restroom, period, unless like I'm alone completely, even at my own house. It's weird. I'm just I don't talk about that. I'm very girly when it comes to that stuff. I'm like, girls don't poop. Girls don't fart. Girls don't
yes,
poop.
we do, girl. Yes, we do.
I don't know about you, but I don't.
No, she lying, y'all. If she don't, she's not healthy. No, but that, yeah. I read that question. I'm like thinking above extra things, but
yeah,
that was a good one.
Yeah. No clogging toilets here.
Yeah. But that was it for episode 7. You guys, this is so crazy. I'm so proud of us.
I am too. If you're not already subscribed to our channels, make sure you do so. You can follow us on
Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Please leave us reviews. Please follow us on the actual podcast websites as well. Leave reviews on those too. Oh wait, leave a review on those too. Yeah. Why did that not sound right?
I don't know.
It's been a day, y'all. But thank you guys for listening so much.
Make sure to share this episode with someone you know.
Yeah, especially if they're dealing with co-parenting stuff.
Especially if this was meant for them.
Because it was a tough conversation to have.
It was, but love being a step parent. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Yeah, you do. You do.
So
really
exciting.
Good. You do really good.
It's such an exciting time. I love it. I love having kids and being a step parent. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Anyways, love y'all.
Thanks for listening, and we will see you at our next episode.
Episode 8. What's episode 8? Episode
8 is about getting closure when relationships come to an end.